Hey guys, welcome to this new video. In this case, I will be teaching you how to download this new game that Nintendo just released a few days ago. So I will be teaching you how to download the necessary files to make sure that this game will be run without any issues on your computer Windows using the Yuzu emulator, and also how to configure the Yuzu emulator using the additional file that will be giving you on the comments below of the video. And also I will be giving you a way to get this amazing game. So let's start with the basic process. In this case, of the videos I do, I will be teaching you how to load the Yuzu emulator. In this case, we only have to go to Google and then just type Yuzu and go to the download section that we have for Google and download for Windows. I just save the game, the emulator, sorry, and that will be all. I have my emulator downloaded. And also, if you do not have the Microsoft Visual C++, you also have to download it and make sure that it's installed without any issues. Then we have to open the file that we just downloaded. If you take a few times to open this emulator, this installer emulator, in this case, since I already have the emulator, I will show you this page, but in this case, since you don't have it, will tell you an option to install. Go to install and it will be all the process. After the emulator is installed, we only have to go to Yuzu and download these files that will be giving you the links on the comments. The first comment that will be pinned, you will have to download the file there. After we have this additional file downloaded, we will have to go to show more options and extract here with RAR, sorry, and that will be all the process. And we'll give you two folders, one that will be the firmware and the keys. So to install the keys, we open the folder key, copy the two files that will be filed on this folder, and then open the Yuzu emulator. So just a couple of few seconds while the Yuzu emulator is opening. So we have the Yuzu emulator open. We have to go the file tab and open Yuzu folder. On this window, we only have to go to the key section and paste it. Replace the files with the presentation, and that will be all. We have the key installed and we only have to install the firmware. In this case, open the firmware folder, select all the files that we have here and copy, and again go to Yuzu, open Yuzu folder and go to the NAND folder, then to the system folder, content folder, and the register one. There we have to paste all the information that we just copied. All the files, replace the files in the destination folder. That will be all. We have the keys and the firmware installed without any issues. The next step will be configure the emulator. For that reason, on the Yuzu, we have to the emulator tab, just tap configure, and we have this window. On this part of the window, we only have to select system one and language. You have to select the preferred language that you want to play the video games. I prefer to live on Latin American Spanish. On profiles, you can create your own profile to make sure that the games will have your name. And important part of the configuration process, on the core part, you have to make sure that the multi-core CPU is activated. Go to CPU, with accuracy, we will only leave on auto and graphics. We have this important part of the explanation. In this case, on the API one, we have two options, the Vulkan one and the OpenGL. In this case, that will be depending on your graphics cards. In this case, I have a NVIDIA graphics cards. I recommend to use Vulkan. Also, if you have an AMD AMD graphics cards, I recommend to use Vulkan. If you have an Intel one, you can try to use OpenGL. In this case, make sure that the device it will be the name of your graphics cards, and the graphics settings I recommend to use this pipeline cache, use asynchronous GPU emulation, and decoding method live on GPU, and VSync you can turn off this option that will be not affecting anything on your emulation process. On emulation you can choose GPU on the full screen mode. I recommend to use borderless without it, but you can use exclusive full screen to gain more FPS. On aspect ratio, you can choose default. On resolution, that's important part. If you have a low space computer, you can try to use 41X, or if you really have a good computer, you can try to use those X to run the game at least in 2K. And Windows adapting filter, you can try to use NVIDIA resolution. I recommend to use that to have good performance and also a good graphics quality. And anti-aliasing method, I recommend to use F6AA, and FS sharpness, I recommend to use 80%. Then on advanced stuff, you can try to use accuracy level set on high, and anisotropic filtering, I recommend to use default. If you have a really good computer, you can try to use the last one. In recompression method, you can use uncompressed, that will be the most stable one, and the rest of the options I recommend to use. If you have Vulkan active, use enable asynchronous representation for the maximum clocks, and also enable relative fusion, use asynchronous shadow building, use fast GPU time, use Vulkan pipeline cache, and the various feedback loops. In this case, these options that use Vulkan only active if the API that you select is Vulkan. Then on the audio part, you can try to use an automatic process to help you to have a good performance. In this case, I left on auto since I don't have any issues with the auto bar. On SAT output mode, I recommend to use stereo, or if you have a surround headphones, you can try to use surround. I will be using surround for this moment. And control, in this case, you can try to use a keyboard. On the input process, you can try to use a keyboard or a keyboard and mouse. In this case, since I have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, I will be using this Nintendo Switch Pro controller. So, and just give me a couple seconds. I have here my Nintendo Switch controller, and it's totally working without any issues. You also can try to use a PS5 controller or an Xbox controller that works without any issues with this emulator. Just press that OK, and the last part will be launching your game. In this case, you can add all the footage with the games, just clicking add new game directory, and then searching the folder that you have your games. In this case, my games are on this folder called Switch. Select folder, and that will be all. All your games will be showed on a list. In this case, I do not do that for copyright issues. So in this case, I will be launching the game to make sure that the game is running without any issues. For the reason, I will go to the file and recent file and go to Super Mario RPG. It will be launching the game, and after that the game will be run without any issues on our emulator.